Hey, welcome to H3 Live. You're here with Trish and Steve. Hey, Steve Bose.
Hey Trish, what's happening?
Not a lot, actually. It's a little early in the day where I'm at. So, how about you? Off to a good start?
Yeah, sure is. Midweek. It's been busy, of course, but all good things. A lot of stuff happening, and looking forward to some of the really cool projects we have coming up with some of our friends and longtime clients. And digging in, Trish, all I'm thinking about lately, it's an offshoot of a project we're working on, which I don't want to tease it yet because it hasn't been announced, but we talked yesterday with one of our great partners all
Hmm.
around trust in the workplace, employee engagement framed as trust, and really by extension, safety. And I think to me, that's emerging as one of the biggest things happening in the world of work right now. And maybe most important things, more important than AI, even, honestly,
Right.
I would say. What do you think?
I agree. I do think we had that great conversation. And when it comes to not just safety at work, just safety in general, I feel like is really front and center. Obviously, there's a lot going on in our country and in other countries, both politically, ethnically, religiously, like all the things. And I feel like it's so chaotic right now you don't really know what to do other than sort of hunker down in your own house, your own space, right? And I think there's a lot that workplaces are going to be able to offer to give people that sense of continuity, maybe to ease their fears a little bit about things. So I'm hoping that's what we see. It's interesting you say that too, because one of the things that I was watching before I joined today was do you know who Savannah Guthrie is?
Yes.
Right? She's a, very well-known, reporter um, and has a morning show. Well, her mother has gone missing,
Hmm.
and I keep going to TikTok. Every time I go to TikTok, like, the first thing that happens is updates or whether there's updates on her mother and whether or not she's gonna be found, and, um, at this point, it's still not solved, but I will say it's just like even when you open social media, whether you're on TikTok or X or whatever you use, it's more chaos, right? It's all related to safety, right? Your own personal safety. So, I don't know, just such a timely topic. I don't think I've felt that way in a while. Have you?
No, I haven't either, honestly, maybe since maybe at the beginning of the pandemic, that first 6, 8, 12 months, right? And things were
Yeah,
so uncertain and so many workplaces had shut down and so many, you know, organizations had to furlough employees and
right.
obviously how hard that was and so many people dealing with, illness and death in their own families, which was
Mhm,
tragic. I think we're not quite there in terms of how bad things are today or how unsettling things are, but things often in many organizations are not great. We have seen a lot of corporate layoffs, certainly here in the US in
mhm,
the second part of 2024 already, 2025 and into 2026. We've talked about it some on the Workplace Minute, and I think it would be really not a stretch to say lots of corporate workers, tech workers, workers in finance and consulting, in high tech,
mhm,
are very concerned and apprehensive just about their own job security at a level to which we haven't seen in a while here in the
right,
U.S. outside of pandemic and that sort of extraordinary impact that had.
right. Yeah, and again, I think anytime you're feeling like you don't have control over your own situation, your own pay, it causes a lot of trouble then at home too. So it goes both ways, right? You can't have chaos in all parts of your life at once. It's just very difficult to just live day to day, I
Yeah,
think, when
it's
you're
tough, and
employed.
here in the U.S., we do tend to be a little bit U.S. centric, right? That's where we live, that's where we
Right.
work, right? But I saw some data today that suggested of all, say, the advanced economic countries, the developed countries, if you will, that the
Mhm.
US was rated dead last in work-life balance, right? Dead
Really?
last. And part of the reason certainly is, um, our country does not have guarantees in place for things like parental leave,
Mm.
maternity leave, sick leave even, paid time off even, right? Those things
Right.
are not mandated, by our government federally at all. Our minimum wage federally is quite low, right? Although we
Mhm.
know many states and localities have much higher minimum wages, but the federal minimum wage is quite low and has been increased in, I don't know, 15, 18. 20 years, a long time, right? Just leave it at that. And so work-life balance here has always been a challenge. And then all of these external factors piling on and making it tough. So yeah, it can be a tough time. So why I brought that up and what we were talking about the other day with one of our clients was, hey, organizations really needing to lean into this.
Mhm.
This can't be sustained, right? We're going to be having really significant
Yeah,
issues around burnout, around retention, around just poor performance, right? Because people are just it's a lot people are going through right now.
right. I think too, I mean, we're talking primarily about people that might work for some sort of corporate, entity. You have less control, certainly in those instances, but I would say even for people who are like we are in the consulting side of things where you run your own business or a small business,
Mhm.
maybe a family business, you would think that we would have better work-life quality. We would have more flexibility, right, over vacation time or whatever, and the thing is, I don't feel like we do that well ourselves.
Mhm.
So it's sort of an optical illusion when you think about, "Oh, these people can do what they want." It's really what's ingrained in you when you are very young in your career, I think, and you get a certain work ethic and a work expectation of how it should be, and you live to that, whether you're still in the corporate world or not, or whether you're, in more of a blue collar production type situation. So we're really hard on ourselves too. I think we don't give ourselves time or distractions even, right? I love to paint. I know you love to do like sort of the coloring and the artwork behind you. I can't even tell you, it's been 2 weeks, I think, since I picked up a paintbrush. So it's like
Wow.
I have the full capabilities within my own power to take a break to and we don't. So I don't know,
I
there's a
did
bigger
paint this
question
one
there.
over the weekend, this one right here. This is
Oh,
new.
did you?
Yeah, it's
I
just like
love
a
it.
copy of like a real painting, a poor
That's
copy of it.
okay.
Yeah, I did that one. It was really relaxing. I'll say.
It is relaxing, and I think the more that we can encourage each other and our teams, right? So if you're in leadership role, maybe your company isn't still on board with offering all sorts of benefits to help prevent burnout, but I think individually you can help your teams to have time, give them permission to go and work from a different location, right? Go take some time off, even if it's 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
Tell your team, I want you to go take some time off and just not think about work.
yeah.
Just relax, right?
Yeah,
Have you
it's
heard of
important. We're going to be circling back on this topic a lot this year.
yeah.
I know we've got a webinar upcoming that's going to hit a lot of these
Mhm.
themes, but I do think it's important to really start thinking about that very, very intentionally, right? How
Right.
no matter what, like you said, no matter what type of work it is, whether it's a
Yeah.
hospital or a high tech company or retail or whatever, right? It's making sure folks are being taken care of to the best you can, right? Look, we
Right.
know organizations certainly struggle with as we do sometimes, right? Just keeping things going day to day, and you get caught up in all that. And you think less about your own, personal well being. You think less about your employees' well being, but we'll see if that makes the difference. I believe it will. I think it'll make the difference in how organizations actually perform this year and next. And when things start to swing back more towards, right, I did a workplace
Yeah.
minute about the power dynamics really shifting in the
Mhm.
workplace back more towards employers. And I do think
Right.
that's true. But we do know from observing the world of work and the labor market, right, those shifts are never permanent. They're only temporary. And
Right.
it's quite likely in a year or two or whenever it is, right, all of a sudden we'll be back to, employees, leaving and employees having much more
Mhm.
power and employers scrambling to try to hold on to talent. And then we'll know, right? There'll be a sort of a bit of a reckoning, I think, about what employers really did when times were different and how they showed up for employees or not. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I'm
But
thinking about a lot.
start with yourself, right? As a leader, you have to start with giving yourself time and modeling that behavior because what we model is what we see. Right?
Yeah.
So it is tough, but if you feel like you are not in control of the wider team and their level of burnout, start with yourself, set that example,
Yeah.
right? Give them time.
And speaking of disconnecting, here's a good segue for you and a timely
Oh
one.
gosh, okay.
This is like one of the really great times of the year, around the world certainly, but in the US definitely, if you are a sports person. because two things, right? The
I know
Super
what you're gonna
Bowl in
say.
the
That's
US is
right.
coming up this weekend in a few days,
It is.
and the Winter Olympics kicks off, actually competition wise kicks off today with the events, and then Friday with the opening ceremony and the actual,
Yeah.
the gala celebration about kicking off the Olympics. Trish, what is your favorite Winter Olympic sport, either to participate in as an amateur or something that you like to watch during the Olympics? Do you have one?
Yeah, downhill skiing.
Mm,
100%,
that's a good one.
100%. You know what? I had the great fortune of seeing, Lindsey Vonn last year. Our friends at ADP had her as one of their
Nice.
guest speakers. She is fascinating, so I think everyone loves her. But did you see she had a terrible fall,
Mm.
the other day, has torn her ACL, and again, on TikTok, where I get all my news nowadays, she's actually I was gonna ask you about this. She's actually saying that she has been in extreme physical therapy over the last few days, has certain braces and things like that she's going to wear, and she's going to compete. She intends to compete in the Olympics with a torn ACL. So, I was thinking, like, I have knee issues. I have a brace on my knee, in fact, right now. I have not been skiing because I've been like, "Oh my gosh, I don't wanna do more damage to my knee." I sort of feel like she's setting the bar pretty high. I feel like I need to go skiing, brace and all.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Get out there. Do it. It's fun. Yeah.
Get out
It's
there.
good to be outside. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
excited for it too. I like the Winter Olympics. I like curling's probably my number one. Super fun. Starts
yeah.
today. I'll be tuning in later on, I think today.
Oh,
And I like
do you think you could
biathlon too.
you
That's
think
the
you
other one
could
I like.
do it?
Do I
Would you
think I
be
could
the
do it? I
one
think I could do it. Do I
would
think
you
I'd
wanna
be
be
any
the
good at it?
sweeper
No.
or would you wanna be the one that actually pushes
Well,
it
I
forward?
mean, I think technically you're supposed to be able to do both. I think, right? That's how it works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at different times,
Alright.
and but
What do they call the person that pushes it forward? I don't even know, isn't that awful?
I don't know if that has a separate name or not, but the
Yeah.
it's a fun sport. It's pretty cool to watch. I like how they yell at each other and they yell at the
Yeah, right?
stone and everything. So that starts
That's
today. I'm
cool.
excited for that. I'm excited for Super Bowl. I am last thing, Trish, last thing before we sign off. Who's your pick
Okay.
for the Super Bowl?
Oh, Seahawks all the way.
See, I'm with the Seahawks as well. I'm on the
Yeah.
Seahawks.
The Patriot they're cheaters
Sick of the
in my book
Patriots. Sick of them.
for, like for the rest of history. No.
Sorry to our
Actually
fans watching from New England, but let's go
yeah,
Seahawks.
I know, sorry. Sorry about that. No, actually, it's funny because I do like their quarterback, but yeah, a family friend is a humongous Seahawks fan, so I am Seahawks all the way for him. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Good stuff. All right, Trish, let's sign off. It's been a fun H3 Live. We're coming back next week. We're getting back into the rhythm of doing these, I think. It's super
I
fun.
think
Take care
so.
of your employees. Maybe give them a little bit of a break on Monday morning post Super Bowl as well if
Oh,
you're in the
right?
US, right?
It's one of the least productive days of the work
You know
year. Is
what?
it
So
after
what? Every other day is the productive day. Let's relax
right?
about the lost productivity the day after the Super Bowl stuff. Enough with that.
I love it.
Okay. Good stuff.
Okay.
We'll see you next time,
Have a great
everybody.
week.